Hello, my guys, and welcome back to Spill the Tea with Helen. How are you guys doing? Let me know. An Olympic athlete has met her end in the most gruesome way possible at the hands of the one person who should have protected her. Her name is Rebecca Cheptegei. I hope I got that right. And she participated in the just concluded Paris Olympics as a marathon runner who finished in the 44th place. Now, according to reports, Rebecca's fight for her life began on Sunday when her alleged ex-boyfriend poured petrol on her and set her on fire. And while she was burning, she called out to her sister who was in the house to help put off the flames. But this guy who was burning her chased away her sister with a cutlass he was holding to ensure that Rebecca got no help. And because of this, the Olympic runner suffered severe burns to 80% of her body. When help finally got to her, she was rushed to the hospital, but her injuries proved fatal and she lost the fight for her life yesterday. According to the doctors at the Moy Teaching and Referral Hospital where Rebecca was taken, the injuries she suffered from the burns were so severe that it caused multiple organ failure. Like her kidneys had already packed up by the time she got to the hospital before other organs began shutting down. The guy who did this to Rebecca has been identified as one Dixon Ndiema. And contrary to reports that he's her ex-boyfriend, Rebecca Cheptegei's father said that Ndiema was just a friend to his daughter and that although Rebecca lived in Kenya, she still had a husband in Uganda who is the father of her two kids aged 9 and 11 years. It's sad that the person who could have told us the truth about her relationship with Ndiema is Rebecca, but unfortunately she's not here to speak for herself anymore. And what makes it even more upsetting is the reason Ndiema unalived Rebecca. According to reports, Ndiema was trying to forcefully take a parcel of land that belonged to Rebecca and the matter was already in the courts. But obviously, this guy could not even wait for the long process and decided to take matters into his own hands. And I'm thinking to myself, what level of evil did he have to harbor in his heart to make it seem so simple, so easy to douse a person in petrol and literally light them up? And even after he had done this, he did not feel any regrets. He did not even run away from the scene, but he stayed long enough to chase away anybody that could have helped Rebecca and watch her burn almost completely before he was satisfied. All because he wanted something she owned and she was not willing to give it up. So he first tried to steal from her, then he tried to intimidate her to get her to leave her land for him. And when he saw that she kept standing her ground, he decided it was time to end her life.
So has anyone else heard about the 33-year-old Kenyan woman who recently died as a result of her boyfriend throwing gasoline on her and lighting her on fire? I think that we should call it what it is. That man murdered her. Imagine training your whole entire life for something as incredible as the Olympics. And instead of celebrating you and celebrating with you, the person who is supposed to love and support you and be happy for you has so much insecurity and feels so threatened by you and your success that he decides to throw gasoline on you and light you on fire. It blows my mind how there are still so many men out here who do not understand the bear in the woods analogy. Why so many women would choose the bear over a man.
If you're wondering why you would rather choose the bear, let me make a Kenyan man from scratch. To start, clean the surface with alcohol to create a bigger space for the impurity of their thoughts. Add avoiding responsibilities at home, but entertaining friends with bottles of alcohol. Once you've added the alcohol, add more alcohol. When you have no money for alcohol, borrow friends' money for alcohol. Mix having a wife and a girlfriend, then dip in long hours at the bar, then mix complaining about his wife to his girlfriend and false promises. Now skip being productive and double on being reproductive with side chicks. Sprinkle calling you romantic names like gold digger if rejecting, lying about anything and everything, add alcohol. Take a big cup of ghosting when he needs to send money. Add spending his salary on alcohol and side chicks. Mix if I send you Uber money, you owe me sex.
Or I'll beat you up.
This recipe is incomplete. So add the urge to humble you or set you on fire if you're great. Add doing anything but seeking help. Seriously, you have to do better. Stop the femicide. Rest in peace, Rebecca and other victims of misogynistic Kenyan men.
You know, sometimes we fall in love with the weapons fashioned against us and we don't even know it. And violence against women in this region in Africa keeps getting much worse, and it seems like nobody is really doing anything about it. In 2021, another athlete named Tirop broke the world record in the 10 kilometers road running race in Germany, only for her to go home and be unalive, and her husband is currently standing trial for her death. Again, in 2022, the life of another Kenyan athlete, Damaris Mutua, was taken away from her. She was strangled in her own home, and the police found her like that. Like, what is going on? This thing is becoming too normal in not just Africa, but in the whole world, in fact. Just a few weeks ago here, we were talking about the Indian doctor who was raped multiple times before being gruesomely murdered. This guy, Dixon, did not consider that Rebecca Cheptegei was a mother of 2 and also the breadwinner of her family before deciding to end her life. And people keep telling women to walk away from toxic relationships, or just walk away and it will be over. Walk away from the marriage if he's beating you. Walk away from the relationship if he's abusing you, and everything will end. But this is proof that walking away does not guarantee the safety of a woman from a man who is determined to harm her. This guy was her ex-boyfriend, emphasis on ex, which means that she had walked away, but he still came to look for her. And we've seen this happen over and over again, where women walk away from abusive relationships, abusive marriages, but it doesn't still save them. The Uganda Athletics Federation made a post about it on X, announcing her death and calling for justice to be served against her murderer. Also, the Uganda Olympics Committee also released a statement announcing the passing of Rebecca and calling for justice. But I don't think any statement will satisfy us more than hearing that her attacker has been given the appropriate sentencing by the court for prematurely ending the life of this promising Olympic athlete. And more conversations need to be had about domestic violence against women. And these conversations need to be had in the right places, in places of government, where policies and, real steps can be taken to protect women. We cannot allow this to become something that we will just see and not feel anything because it has become so normal.
Olympic marathon runner Rebecca Cheptegei flew home from the Paris Olympics, was doused in petrol and set on fire by her ex-boyfriend. She's yet another woman who has died at the hands of a man she knew. Male violence against women is an epidemic that so many countries don't want to talk about. Male violence against women is an act of terrorism. It is rooted in hatred and extreme ideology. It is terrorism. I'm just devastated and furious and filled with literally no hope that anything will change anytime soon.
That's where the video ends for today. Hit the like and subscribe buttons to see the next hot topic. Until I come your way again, take care and bye-bye.